What's up, guys? It's Patrick from wpbuilderhelper, and in today's video we're going to take a look at Kadence blocks again. Specifically, we're going to try and build a website with not sure which direction we're going to go in, but we're going to at least start it. It's going to be part one of it. So we're going to start on a long, probably shorter series, probably keep it to 3 parts, of building something with Kadence blocks from start to finish, getting it done, taking a look at it, and then seeing afterwards how I feel about it and what I think that I would have probably liked more in some parts and dislike in other parts. All right, so let's get started. Alright guys, so here we are inside of Kadence, and let me explain to you what I'm trying to do and why I'm using Kadence and everything like that. Essentially, I'm starting a membership site, so maybe looking at this, I'm going to have to look at it first just to see, but I'm starting a membership site that I want to do where I go over the basics of taking in, building websites and all of that, where I go more in depth. And I go through some of the things. I've been building it with bricks, and then their migration tool came along, and that kind of threw me for a loop. I thought that it was going to be kind of like a one-click button option, but it turned out that it was not. And now everything on that website is completely thrown off, and it looks terrible, and it just did not come out right. There's a lot of bugs with it so far, and so I'm having to kind of play with that to try to get that to work. So I thought, why not use Kadence? I haven't built something with Kadence. I'd like to build something with Kadence. They have a couple of different things coming. So there's this I don't even know if we can actually use this. This is a coming soon course, which I wish that was out, because I would just probably use this because it is an online course. And I would enjoy that a lot more than maybe using this membership site, because I'm not sure that this is what I want to do with it. I had used this in the beginning, and it worked out pretty well. I didn't think it was that bad. Of course, this isn't bad either. This is like a design course. I may end up going with something like this. I definitely think that an e-learning course would be cool. I think that works. Got a couple of e-commerce here also. But I'm going to go with this to kind of speed up the process, and then I'm going to take out a lot of what I don't need from it. So I guess for this, let's just take on this one. I think that this one looks pretty good. I usually don't like using templates if I can help it, but in all reality, this is a very well-designed template, and I think that they did a good job with it. Probably about the only thing that I see that I don't like is the way that they did. Well, I mean, the way that they did the course is pretty cool too. I don't even know how they built this though. It looks like this is just expanded lessons, and then it goes to whatever you're supposed to be learning. Not sure if I would use something like that if I would just, but I guess, at the same time, what's the harm in using something like this? So let's go to our dashboard, and I've also got my dashboard up. I've already got some of the graphics, but to be quite honest with you, I don't have a lot of the media. So I'm going to be going in. I'm going to be looking at my older website while I'm building this, just so I can see what's going on with it and what's happening with it, and what I need to do and all of that. But I'm going to be looking at it and seeing what the issue is, or what I can do to kind of enhance it. So for here, we're going to go to Kadence. Let's go to Kadence Starter Themes. I already have Kadence installed. So I'm choosing Gutenberg for mine. I'm not going to be using Elementor. And like I said before, I wish that in this you could actually choose those menus that you could choose on the homepage there, but you can't for some reason. But that's okay. We're going to go here, and from here, let's look at their dark themes. I really don't like the way that looks. This is pretty close to what we have in terms of colors. there are some things that don't meet. Like I don't like that red. That's not my favorite. I think I like the white a lot more. And this is a basic color scheme. You can kind of change this. And I'm not gonna pick a font family either because I don't see the purpose in it. I've already got my fonts picked. And of course, this is a Learn Dash. So it's saying that you have to have Learn Dash installed. So that's why it's using Learn Dash as the course creator. So maybe we don't pick this one. That sucks because I'm going to be using like WP Courseware. So I want something that doesn't have. Yeah, this is just like this is a basic website, but I think I like this more in terms of what I'm doing because I don't want to have LearnDash involved with it because I'm not putting it on LearnDash, and it's got some courses too. Let me look at their courses just to see what it's talking about. Yeah, I mean that's a cool page. I think there's some things you could take out, like you could take out this, but you know. Okay, so let's pick something like this. Let's pick something that's close to my color. And we're going to go in and customize this. So let's go full site. Let's activate. It's going to start activating the demo content. And we're going to go and start building this. So the thought process behind this is that I'm building this for a very simple reason. I'm building it so that I can essentially create course content for that's outside of what WP Builder does on the regular YouTube website. I want to take and have something that I can control and that I can do, and I don't really want it to be something that's super expensive. I don't want it to, I mean, it's not going to be for that. That's not the reason why I'm doing it. I'm doing it just because I want to have a place that I control. So I've secured the video hosting. I've secured all of that, and I'm working on the outlines. I've been working on the outlines and the drafts and getting everything ready and thinking about the type of content that I want to put on there. I might start with something very basic first, such as just doing the page builders and going over the basics of them, and then kind of go into more advanced contents later where I'm talking about it. But we'll have to see how that works out. We'll see what ends up happening there. So for right now, I'm going to take and I'm going to use this. Cool. This is finished. We're going to view our site. Yep. That's not at all what I want, but that's fine. We're going to go in and we're going to edit it. So before we start, let's go to our dashboard and we're going to edit. We're definitely going to edit the menu because we don't have all of this. So there's going to be pages we're taking out, like library. I'm not sure what that is. That's podcast. We're going to have to look through all of this and see. And this is on a local host, by the way, so I'm sorry if this is going on a little bit slow. It is what it is. I'll also kind of clean up these windows. Sorry, I was looking through and seeing what was on here. I really wish this online course was on here just so I could learn and see what they had on there. But it says coming soon. Be pretty cool once it's out. But let's look at this and let's go through and see what's going on, because I definitely think there's some things we can take off. But I guess for right now, let's go in and customize our stuff. So I know what fonts I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be breaking this up too. I'm not keeping this long. I already know what fonts I'm using. I know this header I don't like, so let's switch that first. So search, goodbye, join today. I was already thinking about this, and I'm going to give away a free course. I'll leave the URL. It won't open in a new tab. Sponsored, set to download, filled outline, button visible to everyone. Yeah, we want it visible to everyone. Let's save that. We'll go back and change all of the colors and everything. I guess I should start with the colors and the fonts first. That's probably stupid to go to that. So let's do that. That's under general. And we're going to go to colors and let's add in our colors. So our first color is this, and it's very similar to this purple. So that's our first color that we're going to deal with. And our second color, which is our base color, is like a purple. Man, I wrote this really funky. Yep, that'll work. And then this is kind of similar to what we had before also. This is like a blue. This theme's like pretty close to what I had before. This is not right. 454 G7C. Okay, that's right. So that, and then we had this 040017. And sorry if this is boring. I get that sometimes this kind of stuff can bother you. If you're curious how I picked this out, I was basing it off of some of the other colors that I have used before in the past, since this is going to kind of link to wpbuilderhelper. I wanted to keep the branding to some extent consistent, so I wanted to take and do that. I do like the way that they do this, though. Rather than picking the fonts for all of these, obviously it says inherit, but you've got this heading font here, and it does that, and it just lets you select the heading. I think you can do that in Bricks too, but it's weird. It has something like all headings, and it's got something else. And so for this, we're going to be using, this has a bit of a different, it uses this Maserati, and I think I wanted to increase the width of it to 800. And then I think I wanted to increase this to 700. So you're going to see me do that. You know, one of the things that I really want to end up doing at some point in time, they also changed the font colors. Well, I'm not going to go back and mess with that just right now. I'll see how that plays out. I don't want to change it, but I don't really, I'm not so crazy over that. One of the things I really want to do is there's this really big push now. I wouldn't even call it a push, but it's a thing where it's people who are trying to essentially do just one font, and then you do variations of that font. And I really like the idea behind that. I think that that's pretty cool. There's the Page Builder Academy, and I'm going to have to select all files. So for here, we're going to just select all of these. And you're going to see it already, I'm not even sure. So I just realized something. I'm going to select out of this. I'm going to publish this real quick, and then I'm going to show you a problem. So I forgot that one of the plugins we're going to need for this is an SVG plugin. So you can just type in SVG, because WordPress doesn't natively work with SVGs. I've used this safe SVG. I've tried this one and this one, I believe. I think this one works better. To my knowledge, I've had a better time using it, even though it wasn't updated. This one's been updated a lot more. It's a pretty easy. SVGs, all they are is scalable vector graphics, and basically they're just a better way, in my humble opinion, of doing logos, because that's really what they're for. They're for like logos. So similar to this. You can run into issues with these, which I will talk about as I go through this and I'm building this. But for the most part, they're pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you want to use SVGs. For instance, a lot of people are getting away from something along the lines of logos, like the logos that you, not logos, but the I'm trying to think of what you would call it, the icons. Icons, I'm sorry. I'm stumbling with my words. The icons that you would find, they're getting away from that. They really, really, really are not big fans of the fact that people are using these icons. They'd rather have SVG, or at least that's what I've found. That's what people have been commenting on forums and things like that, is that they really like the use of SVG and they'd really rather use SVGs. And to some extent, I get why. I could see why they would rather. This is another thing I really like. Kadence, sorry I'm not talking while I'm doing this or I'm talking about too much other BS. The Kadence has a decent mobile menu, the off canvas and everything. I like the way that you can customize it and you can kind of look at it. This is one of the areas where Kadence does really well, although I wish there were more options for the mobile menu. I'm not in love with the way the mobile menu um, works. I wish that there was a way that you could adjust that to get it just how you wanted it, or whatever the case is. And it doesn't seem like there is. Like I wish you could kind of reduce this box and you could do a lot of that. And there isn't such a thing. There is a thing that lets you pick like how you want your menu set up and everything like that. So on mobile, it's just got menu. And I think that that looks pretty good for the most part. I like the way that they did it. But we're going to go in and customize, like I said, all of this. So don't worry too much about it right now. We're just kind of taking a look at it just to see what we need to change for the most part. So let's go in and save that. And then from here, let's take a look at our pages because we really need to start plotting this out. So building any kind of website, you got to think, what is your goal? And each website should have one goal for each page. So for instance, we know that the about page is just going to be for the most part, for most people, it's a BS page. Wow, that looks really bad. I wonder why that's doing that. That's funny. I wonder why that's all the way over like that. I'll have to look at that later. But the about page is always kind of like a BS page that everybody has. As a matter of fact, it gets to the point where people want it just because they want to see your credentials and just exactly why you're even being considered for something. But a lot of times people don't buy things based upon the about page. Now I notice there's a dashboard on here. Okay, that's interesting. So this is going to be a dashboard for someone as if, okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's neat that it's got this little window and then manage my account, go to roadmap, contact support, log out. See, this doesn't go anywhere though. Course library, so this doesn't go anywhere either. Training, resources, community. I like this page. This is a good page, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's weird. So I guess you would just build it out. They're not going to do everything for you. This is pretty good. I hate the Google Map portion of this because I just think that that's stupid. So definitely going to remove that. This is nice at the bottom. I like that it has this standard go back to the top. I like that it has a form, basic form. Kadence comes with a form, which is quite nice. Although I may even change that because I've got a stronger form. I've got a better form that I like to use, which I've been talking about on this channel a lot. If you've been watching the channel, then you know I've got, a better form. Let's look at the roadmap. So I don't really like this roadmap. I guess it's the roadmap of the actual program. It's not like a roadmap of what they're doing. This is just a roadmap of the actual program. And this is a podcast. So all this is just podcast episodes. Like it's got to listen now and it goes to the podcast page, which is passive income podcast. Interesting. And then there's a library page. And so library page is nothing more than your blog, essentially. That's what it looks like that goes to. And then you've got a book page. So the book page we can get rid of. We're not doing anything with any books. Podcast page, probably don't want to keep that. I don't like that. And I'm definitely not doing a podcast. So that's got to be removed too. So podcast and book definitely coming out. These pages are a bit weird, but I like it. Let's see, sales page. Does this sound familiar? So this is like a story type page where you've got your different prices. I may end up keeping this. I don't mind this. I definitely want to look at what else they have. Let's look at the courses page. Did we look at this? Yeah. Courses page, not my favorite. Resources page. This is just like a resource page of what you recommend, I guess. I don't need that. I'm not going to, I mean, I may have a resources page, but I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take the roadmap out too. Dashboard can stay. I like the dashboard. Don't necessarily know about the sales page because the sales page is technically going to be the home page. I mean, that's the whole point of the home page is to kind of sell the course. And then, you know, you go from there and you kind of build it out how you want to build it out. So let's start removing these pages. This is probably boring, and like I said, but I want to take it, I want to walk you through. So I'm going to just completely deactivate these pages that I don't need. So the book page, the podcast page, the resources page, the sales page, all of that can just be, let's edit it. And then let's see, can I edit all of them and then change them to status? Just set them to draft for right now. I don't think I'm going to need them. I don't have a reason to believe that I'm going to need them. But if for some reason I do, then I've got them in drafts. And if not, then I'll just go back and delete them later. Let's look at that courses page, though. I wanted to kind of see like why it looked crazy, like what was going on with it with the... Oh, wait, no, it wasn't the course page. It was one of the other pages. Let's go back to WordPress, courses, book. Was it the library? I think it's the library page. Nope, this is just the blog. So the library page is just blog information, which that's fine. Maybe it was on the resource page. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it too much. The whole purpose of this is just basically thinking of how this works, like looking at it and then seeing how it works. So this is this just an author admin? Let's look at the Kadence block defaults. So these are all the block defaults. Let's look at this user info container settings. So this is just container settings that you can display here. Avatar settings, so you can change the avatar width and border radius, and you can even give your avatar a border, which we might end up doing. Name settings, welcome, before name, okay, font settings, cool, text transform, what's the register joined on, so register before the date, so it's showing when you joined. Kind of cool. I mean, it's neat that they're adding this. Let's look at their design library while I'm in here. So once again, I know that a lot of this is boring. I know that a lot of you, that's a way better pricing table than the one that they showed before. But then again, our pricing table, this is kind of like the simple pricing table that's down below, which I still like, but it's a way better pricing table. Let's see if there's anything in here that I didn't see before. No, I don't see anything in here. What's the plus icon? Okay, so this is if you're trying to connect to Kadence Cloud and connecting your library to Kadence Cloud, which I'm not going to do for this. So this is the basics of it, and I know that this is going to be. I'm not going to make any changes to it. I know that this is the starting, and I know that this is rather boring, but essentially we're going to go in and we're going to start customizing this. So the next time I take and I come back and I'm looking at this with you, what we're going to do is we're going to start tearing at the fonts. I've already got some ideas for the actual type itself. I'm going to be using some AI generated content. So in part 2, you will see that I dive into the AI generated content portion where I use some of that to take and generate some of the content on this page. Because I have an idea what I want to say, and I've drafted out a lot of what I want to say with it. But for right now, I don't want this to be anything crazy. I want it to be very basic, and then I'm going to kind of build it out as I go. So eventually I'm going to get this completely built out. This is definitely one section that has to go. So I'm going to start eliminating sections and going through this and seeing, and we're going to add sections. So that's what this is going to be about. You're going to basically watch me build the Page Builder Academy website. And we're going to go and we're going to do that. And then once I've built it, I'm going to go and make it live. And you'll be able to watch it all as I take and I go through and do it. I know that this was rather boring, and I'm sure that there's more to come. I'm going to keep this kind of short. I hope that you've learned and enjoyed something, but I've got more coming. I'm going to be adding way more to this. So you're going to see me use WP Courseware, which if you are not familiar with in this website, that was or it still might be it was an AppSumo deal, but they have a decent course building. And I'm going to definitely use this for that website because I really like it. It's pretty cool. Like I said, I've already got my video hosting, so I can tie that in with this and completely build courses from scratch. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to build it just like this, and you can watch me build everything. And if you have ideas or questions or comments or anything like that, we can kind of talk about it as I'm building. And that'll also help me out so that when this finally does launch, hopefully there's somebody who'll be interested in it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I will see you guys next time.